One of the most popular Common Core math strategies in first grade is the make a 10 to add strategy. It seems super simple, but it is challenging for students to learn because it can feel a bit abstract since students at this age are still developing their conceptual understanding of what a 10 actually is. There's two strategies that are commonly shown in math textbooks to help students understand how to make a 10 when adding numbers together. The first is a great representation for visual as well as kinesthetic learners. Before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a new upload. Let's get to it. Before we start, it is important to know the name of this specific math tool. This is called a tens frame. It's a quick visual for students to use when they're first learning what a 10 is because it's simply a rectangle full of 10 square spaces. They know that when the tens frame is full, it is one group of 10. It's also a great visual representation of different quantities up to 10. Students are able to identify 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the numbers up to 10 in various arrangements. When using a tens frame to make a 10, have your child use two different colors to represent the addends in the equation. So for example, if you were teaching them to add 9 plus 6, you could represent 9 with red and 6 with yellow. The goal for your child is to redistribute these quantities to create a group of 10 when adding, because as we know, 10 is easier to add than most other numbers. Using the 9 plus 6 example, have your child circle the greater addend, which is 9. It's always easier to start with a larger number, so draw 9 red circles in the first tens frame. When all 9 circles have been drawn, switch to yellow and begin counting out 6 circles. Make sure to fill in one entire tens frame before moving into the second one. This way you'll be able to clearly see the group of 10 that has been formed. Once you've drawn the 6 yellow circles, you will see that there is one group of 10 and 5 ones in the second tens frame. And your new equation is 10 plus 5, which is much easier to add, and the answer is 15. Let's try the same thing with 6 plus 8. Circle the greater addend, which is 8. Start drawing 8 red circles in the tens frame. Then switch to yellow and draw 6 more circles. The new equation that you will see represented is 10 plus 4, which is 14. Using this as a visual is an awesome tool for your child to be able to internalize the make a 10 addition strategy. If your child is more of a kinesthetic learner and they like to move objects around, you can do this same thing with 2 different objects or 2 different colored objects. All you have to do is create the tens frame, and rather than drawing out the circles with 2 different colors, you would just use 2 different objects. The idea is exactly the same. You want them to see a visual representation of 10. It doesn't matter if they draw them or if they build them. For children with a better developed number sense, drawing out a diagram to make 10 might be a quicker strategy. Do keep in mind that your child will need to understand how to compose and decompose numbers effectively to be able to do this without using objects or without drawing pictures. This means they will need to know basic math facts up to 10 to feel comfortable using a diagram rather than a tens frame. Let's start with the equation 9 plus 6 again. Write the equation out the way it is. Have your child find and circle the greater addend like they did before, which is 9. Ask how many need to be added to 9 to make 10. The answer, of course, is 1. Draw a line from the number 6 and write a 1. That 1 is creating a group of 10 by being added to the 9. But that 1 didn't come out of thin air. That 1 came from the number 6. So here is the hard part. Your child needs to recognize that when you take 1 out of 6, you are left with 5. The new equation is going to read 9 plus 1 plus 5, or 10 plus 5, which equals 15, and is a much easier way to add. Let's try this with 6 plus 8. Step 1 is always to identify the greater addend, which is 8. Circle the 8. How many need to be added to 8 to make 10? Only 2. Draw a line from 6 and write 2. As we know now that 2 is coming out of the 6. And when you take 2 away from 6, you are left with 4. The new equation will read 4 plus 2 plus 8, or 4 plus 10, which equals 14. Like I said, this strategy will work best for children that have a great understanding of how to break numbers into smaller parts. Without that knowledge, this strategy will prove to be extremely difficult for them. I recommend starting with the tens frame strategy until math facts become more automatic and internalized. So those are the 2 strategies I wanted to share with you. If you need any additional support with this, or if it's not making sense, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can always connect with me on social media at Walk Away From The Workbook on Facebook and Instagram, or send me a quick email at walkawayfromtheworkbook@gmail.com. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and share it with a friend who might find it helpful, useful, or interesting. Until next time, have fun learning with your little ones. Bye.